Hello everyone, in this video we are just going to write down a MicroPython script for connecting the Raspberry Pi Pico to the Wi-Fi router wirelessly, and you can use the same script that we are going to develop right over here to connect any Raspberry Pi Pico to any Wi-Fi router available in your local area. So this is the Tony IDE. I'm just going to create a new file by clicking on Ctrl+N in your keyboard, or this particular icon right over here in the left top corner of the Tony IDE. Here I'm just going to save this, Ctrl+S. I'm moving to the respective folder where I want the file to be stored, and I'm going to save it in the name Wi-Fi Connect. The first two modules that I'm going to import is the network module, which helps us to use the instances for connecting the Raspberry Pi Pico to a wireless network, and the next module that we are going to import is the time module, which will help us to use the instances for producing accurate millisecond, second or microsecond delays in your program. And following that, I am just going to write down or make a main function call. So from here on we are just going to use main function in our Python script. Till the previous video we have not been using this particular main function, and now from here on we are just going to use main function in our Python script. And you can see clearly the main function goes like, or the main function call goes like this: if underscore underscore name underscore underscore equal to underscore underscore main underscore underscore, then I'm just going to call main function. So this is the basic primary syntax for calling a main function in your program, and the main function must be defined above this main. That's it. So this is the main function. And inside this main function, what I am going to do is I am just going to call a function connect to Wi-Fi. So this is a function which I am going to define to the top of the main function. So connect to Wi-Fi. That's it. So this is the primary syntax for writing and calling the main function in your Python script. I will explain about this particular thing right over here in the next video, in a short, clear, explained video, why we are doing or why we are calling the main function inside this particular condition in the next following video. For now, just understand that we are just going to check for the condition of this variable to be main. If it is main, we are calling the main function, and inside the main function we have called this particular function connect to Wi-Fi. That is right over here. That's it. Now inside the connect to Wi-Fi function, we are just going to write down the Python script required for calling or connecting the Raspberry Pi Pico to the wireless network or Wi-Fi router available in our local area. So here I am just going to declare a variable WLAN, and it contains, or I am just going to call the instance WLAN inside the network module, and I am just going to pass network dot station F. So this will initialize the network in station mode, and using the same variable WLAN, I am just going to call the instance active, and I am going to pass true as the parameter for this particular instance active. So this will activate the network configuration in station mode. That's it. And here I am just going to write an if condition: if not of WLAN is connected. If it is not connected, I am just going to print connecting to Wi-Fi router and WLAN dot connect. Here I am just going to write down the user ID of my WLAN or the Wi-Fi router as the first parameter, and the password right over here as the second parameter. And here, while not of WLAN is connected, sorry, this is, I'm just going to give pass. Here I'm just going to print network config WLAN dot if config print that's it. So if it is not connected, we will try to connect to this particular router with the username of this one and password of this one. Here you need to give the username of the router and password of the router as a second parameter. Username is the first parameter and the password is the second parameter. And if it is not connected, we will pass, and again we will loop through this particular condition. So until we connect to the network, this particular string will be printed in the cell ID right over here, and once it is connected, we will print the configuration IP address, static IP configuration, and all the configuration addresses of the Raspberry Pi Pico connected in the router, details in the cell window right over here, and then we will print connected to Wi-Fi router inside the Python shell inside the Tony IDE. So let's execute this particular program and check whether it is functioning properly. I'm just running the script by clicking on this particular icon right over here, or by clicking on F5 in your keyboard. You can see it is connected and the network configurations are printed. That is meaning like the Raspberry Pi Pico connected to the Wi-Fi router available in my home with the name alpha_ext is assigned to the IP address of this one, and this is the various addresses of that particular network configuration, and the string connected to Wi-Fi router is printed right over here. So we successfully implemented a Python script for connecting the Raspberry Pi Pico to the Wi-Fi router available in the local LAN. In this particular video, I hope you learned something new in this video. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.